Well, good morning, everybody. Hopefully, we're going out live. Let's see if, the software all thinks we're going live. That's great. There we go. It's complaining that the audio stream bitrate is low, but that's okay. I assume you guys are hearing me. I don't have Discord connected this morning. I'm going to try running without that and see if I'm still getting these crazy stream errors. Hopefully not. Maybe that's maybe that's the deal. Maybe I'm just asking this refurbished computer to do a little bit of too many things all at the same time. But we'll see as time goes on. So, yesterday I went through I ran the time lapse through Tracker and extracted some data from that thing. Yesterday's test indicated a value of G of 6.57. 6.57 times 10 to the minus 11th. So how far off is that? A couple of percent, maybe. Yeah, 1.5%. So, certainly sort of consistent with the sort of data we've been getting. So I'm okay with that. We're going to do it again today. This time, we're starting, of course, in the neutral position with the weights. I'm going to move those things first to one side, just to get the deflection, so that we get a decent oscillation, and then we'll reverse the position. So let me do that, and I'll start the time lapse too. And there we go. Got the time lapse running. Suppose I could move one of my little markers. Let's take this pretty red one. Notice I did get that thing very well centered. I made an adjustment to it last night, so we were sitting about as close to 0 on the vernier scale as I've ever seen it, through sheer luck, of course. So putting the weights in that position is going to cause it to move upscale. It's causing a clockwise rotation if we look down on top, and that'll move the vernier to the left and the laser will go to the right. Okay, so I have nothing to do but watch for about 8 or 10 minutes. Who all's in the chat? 15 of you guys watching. Good morning to who all? Let's see. Hello, Clive. Hello, Judy. Carl. Elon. How do you say that? Quizzo? Mark 10, hello. Dart. Brad Wegner, good morning. Dorian, hello. A lot of people. Excellent. So you guys are bored on what for me is a rainy Thursday morning in eastern Tennessee. Not a lot of rain, just enough to be messy. But glad to see you guys. No, this is good. So far the stream's behaving. Claims it's in excellent condition. I like that. C4. Yeah, too bad. Huh. Too bad it doesn't work in a vacuum, right? But hey, your best friend chemo is going to prove that it actually does work. Hello, Eric. How you doing? Dorian says it's a nice warm afternoon in the UK. I'm glad. I think our temperature is right around maybe 20 C. Here in the shop it's 21, about 21 and a half, I think. Nine o'clock, good morning. Lurking. Yeah, it's okay, you can lurk. So where's this silly thing going? I kind of keep an eye on my little red dot. I'd like to figure out where the extreme point is. Use my irritating egg timer. That thing is really handy. I know the period, yesterday's period was 961 seconds. And 61, what is that? $16 and 1 second. So that's nice. Half a period is 8 minutes. But with this little crazy timer, little egg timer, all I got to do is set it for 8 minutes, and then I don't have to keep doing a lot of mental gyrations to keep track of when the next extreme point is. I found out it helps a lot with this thing if you take care to try to move those weights very near the extreme points. Actually, it seems like it works the best if you let it go to the extreme and then just slightly past it, and then move the weights to the opposite side. So it's already started accelerating that direction. You just move the force to the opposite side, and it doesn't monkey with the oscillation period or anything. So that's the way I'm going to try to run all of these. And we'll see what kind of data we get. We're getting close to there, I think. Yeah, that's got to be about it. So we'll start our timer. And I think I'll just let it start moving in the opposite direction, which it's just beginning to do now. So that was about a 3 division, 2.7 division deflection, negative deflection. To the left, we'll call negative, it's clockwise. So now we're moving the opposite way, and I'll put the weights on the other side. Okay, there we go. That'll get this thing moving. So let's see how the stream's doing. Good, still showing excellent condition. Two people watching, got a few more have joined. Welcome everybody. Yeah, Carl, I don't really know that we're going to take off at hyperspeed. Hello, Facty. Good to see you. No, Carl, I'm not seeing any hiccups on this end at all. Stream says excellent condition, so I'm thinking that on this particular computer trying to run Discord and OBS and stream to YouTube all at the same time is maybe just a little bit asking a little bit too much of this old machine. Yeah, Carl, 21 degrees. That is correct. 21 point, well, I have to go there close to it to see it. 21.6, I think. Let's see, I got another thermometer over here on the other clock. Well, it doesn't have a it doesn't have a decimal point. It's calling it 22. See. In fact, he wants to know how fast is hyperspeed. This is how fast it is. This is hyperspeed. So we're done with a little white circle for the time being. I'm going to move it down on the other end. We'll see where we end up going to. Down there somewhere, I suspect. Let's see, 10, 20, 30. Yeah, maybe further than that. Yeah, so I might just have to stop trying to run OB, trying to run Discord at the same time. Of course, what I could do, what I could always do is go get this thing going and then go in the house, get on the other computer, get on Discord on it. Well, that won't help. The stream wouldn't hear me. It'll be okay. Go learn newfangled electronic crap. Why can't we have life simple again with slide rules and stuff? Forget it. Forget I said that. No, I do not want a slide rule again. That's pretty close right there. We'll see how that works out. Oh, I've got a drawer full of slide rules, Eric, left over from my misspent youth. I got a little 6-inch slide rule my father used to carry around in his shirt pocket. Hello, Terry Davies. Joe Can't Dance, good morning. I don't know, somebody drops by and gives me a dislike. That's fine. I've still got my slide reel from college days. It was a K&E, which was a very well-known brand in those days, Kufel and Esser. They made all kinds of drafting supplies and surveying instruments and you name it. But I've got a K&E log duplex slide reel. It was a dandy. Could read that thing to about 5 figures if you were good. And I probably, when I was good at using it, I could probably operate that thing faster than I've ever been able to operate a pocket calculator for just multiplying and dividing stuff or finding sines or cosines or something. Elon says I've driven someone else bananas. Could be. Certainly made myself a little crazy, no doubt about that. That's okay. Yes, I'm not watching the YouTube stream. I'm watching YouTube Studio instead. What's going out? So I can't see the likes, and I see 11 likes, and I can't see dislikes and all that. It's showing 20 viewers at the moment. Yes, Judy, it was definitely bamboo. Bamboo's such a stable material. That's why they like to use them. And it didn't weigh a lot. You could, of course, make one out of stainless steel or something, I suppose, if you wanted to, but bamboo was the preferred material. Just, I think, due to the light weight and the dimensional stability. I pull the damn thing out of the drawer about once a year. Multiply 2 times 3 just to be sure I remember how, and then put it back. Yes, C4, we are all a little crazy. No joke. Slide reels are not fake either, buddy. Don't make me prove it. Circular slide rules are neat, Carl, as you know, because you can get the scale on one of those things can be really, really long without it being terribly large in diameter. I got a circular slide rule that we use in aviation, which is called an E6B, but it's a specific slide rule, specifically for the purpose of making aviation calculations. They came up with that way back in the 1930s or late 30s or 40s, I think. Military used to use them. I think some military guy came up with it, actually. But they still make it to this day. And just in case everything goes south on you, it's a pretty good idea to have an E6B in your flight bag and some idea of how to use it. The thing could save your life. Carl says he liked the circular because everybody else had a regular one. Yeah, I know what you mean, buddy. I do know what you mean. I saw that, Clive. I'll get back to it in a minute. I'm tracking the red dot right now. Aviation what'd you say? Aviation calculations are for the birds. Yeah, I got it. I see what you did there. Okay. So I think we're starting right about there. And that looks like 228.5. At 1028. Okay. Got it. Mr. Malort, Aussie Globehead. Welcome, everybody. Yeah, the stream is running great today without Discord hooked up. Hey, Feral Cat. Yeah, it's a great way to start the day, isn't it? I think I like doing this on a schedule like this. That previous series of 30 tests, or God, it wasn't 30, it must have been 70 or 80 counting all of the goofing around I did. Probably, well, maybe 100 of them. And I kind of did those at just all kinds of odd hours of the day and night. But I want to run through this series. A little bit more structured. Now I've got something going on tomorrow at 10 o'clock in the morning, so I'll do a stream tomorrow, but it'll probably start at, I'm thinking maybe 11 or 12 o'clock my time. So about an hour to 2 hours later. Mr. Malort wants to know what the ruler with the 50505 is. Huh? I think you're talking about the vernier scale on the lower right. Is that what it is? If it is, that's the actual, you're looking in the end of the enclosure. If you see where the lead ball is hanging there on the lower right, just look slightly up and to the left of it, and that's that window you're looking through, and you're seeing the end of the actual torsion balance. That's the way Cavendish made his measurements. So I went ahead and duplicated it. And we don't really use it for anything. I've used it on one test just to see how hard it would be to do it, and it's really hard to do it. So I've left that thing. It's really more for display than anything else. But it's exactly the way Cavendish did it. Shout out Aussie Globehead, $5 Australian, thank you. Says, I see some smoosh going on in your experiment. Yeah, that's the smoosh. And it confuses people a little bit because they'll see it moves to the right, but the laser always moves opposite. So right now, which way is this thing going? Right now, that scale down there, that vernier is moving to the right, but the laser is going to the left. But you got to think about it like you're looking down on top of the torsion balance. So at the moment, the torsion balance is rotating counterclockwise, which would move that upper arm, the movable part, to the right. But if you look across at the laser, that's twisting it and making the laser move left. It actually makes sense after you think about it, but it's confusing as hell, really. You can get all turned around with this thing. $24 watching. Thanks for showing up, everybody. I don't know what's been going on for the past day or two. I put out a little quick video yesterday on our friend Arwen, who has some very strange ideas about the Egyptian pyramids and what they were for. So if you get a chance, have a look at that. Yeah, I'm thinking it must be Discord that's been messing with the stream, because the stream has just been rock solid so far. No issues at all. Yeah, Carl and Farrell. Young man's got some strange ideas. Giants eating electricity. How does that work? Getting close to the extreme here on the low end of the scale. That's about it right there. Start our egg timer again. And that's about 150 millimeters. I don't know why I insist on writing down all this data when I'm making video of it. I don't know. Just got in the habit, I guess. Yeah, Carl. Yeah, that's right. The big giants all killed each other, and the little ones managed to inbreed with the humans, which did something or the other, I suppose. I don't know. Hello, Peter Harrington. How are you? Yes, and at least Arwen did manage, Clive, to correctly identify the hydroelectric field. Something we have all missed to this point. That's quite important too. Hey, shout out to Judy Bassett for €8. Thank you so much, Judy. If Arwen likes sparks, he could go inside an ESP and discharge the electrodes. Only once, Judy. Only once. Judy's talking about an electrostatic precipitator. It's a device we use around power plants and other places to electrically charge particulate suspended solid matter. In other words, smoke, and then collect it on collecting surfaces. But those crazy things have DC power supplies that are typically in the range of 50 kilovolts DC. You really don't want to get close to one of them. It will ruin your whole day. That's what I designed early in my career, were those power supplies, those transformer rectifier sets. And I worked with precipitators, well, all my life. That was mostly what I was involved with in the air pollution business. Know a little bit about fabric filters and a little bit about dry scrubbers and wet scrubbers and all that stuff too, but I'm mainly focused on ESPs. And don't get me started. I'll be talking about that crap for days. Yeah, special shout out to Judy too. She helped me out a lot with this replacement computer, and I really appreciate it, Judy. At some point today during the stream, I will turn Discord on just to confirm our suspicions that that's what's been interfering with the YouTube stream for whatever reason. Still could be this. It still could be this Wi-Fi connection. It may be not the computer itself, but just that I'm trying to shove too much stuff through the Wi-Fi. from out here. And shout out to Sheeples Phoenix. Thanks, Sheeples. Sheeples says, upon close inspection, I see your experiment does in fact take into consideration the sonic ether acting in a semi-sentient manner. Well done, Blue. Well, obviously we have to take the sonic ether into account. Clearly. Hello, Dart. Yeah, so I made a nice plot of yesterday's data, or ran it through Tracker and used it to extract the data I was looking for. But I've got to get it to give me a nice clean plot. So that I can show it to everybody else. Eric is the expert. He knows how to do all this stuff much better than I do. He's the one that introduced me to Tracker. I don't know what happens if we subject this to an electromagnetic wake, Clive. Ah, you silly thing. Okay, I gotta stop moving everything at the same time. Damn it. $226.5. You have to be really careful with Discord or with OBS. It will allow you to grab multiple objects and move them at the same time, which is handy if that's what you want to do, but it's an irritating pain in the ass when that's not what you want it to do. And but anyway, we got to get back to this this issue at hand here, the electromagnetic wake. I'm afraid that might set up some sort of sympathetic resonance between the balls, which could result in asymptotic caniculation of the pizzle spring. That'd be bad. Yeah, yep. Peter's asking me for suggesting I put the tin foil in the microwave. I think I'll let you put the tin foil in your microwave. Yeah, you got to be very careful that you don't over torque the trundle arm. Oh, I know it makes pretty blue sparks. I had a coffee cup and it was my favorite coffee cup. It had a University of Alabama logo on the side of it. And part of that logo was outlined in some kind of metallic paint, which I didn't really realize was actually metallic paint. The first time I put that coffee cup in the microwave to reheat my coffee, it put on a light show for me, that's for sure. It was so cool, I didn't even want to hit the stop button. I just thought, what the hell, I'm going to watch this. You silly people. Well, on a technical point, Clive says a 3/8 Gripply stops the elliptical arm gradually sliding up the beam shaft and catching on the flange rebate. The cams move the swaging arms and the combining gate. I hadn't thought about it. You might be right. Operated by the reciprocating mechanism, comes down just as the gripping shutter. I'll let you guys read that. This is funny. Provided that the ratchet the racket spring hasn't snapped off in the trunnion armature. Yeah, if that happens, you're in a world of hurt. You've got to remove the muffler bearings and all of that stuff to get to it. Yeah, Peter says had a coffee cup. Had a coffee cup that had gold leaf. Notice I said had. Mine survived. And I've still got it someplace. It's just slightly damaged. That's about all. I'm surprised it didn't explode though. The Elmigs, good morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you may be. Hello, Larry Scott. No, I have not degassed the apparatus. I didn't put any gas in it. There's no reason to think I need to take any gas out of it. I have been gas hunting before, though. No, wait, that was grass. $156.5. At 10:52. I'm taking notes, taking data as we go. So let's see. Everything seems to be running happily at the moment. So that's a hello, Sable Eagle. Why aren't you blue? There, now you are. Got you all fixed. Elon. Oh, Elon, I hope I'm not sounding like CC. Fred Knotts, hello. Fred wants Gary to be here talking about parallax. And I don't want Gary to be here talking about parallax. Thank you very much. Elmix, you're absolutely right. I do not have any idea how Dallas Dave thinks you calibrate a damn plumb bob, or how Brian Leakey would think you could calibrate a water level. But the two of those guys combined, well, I'm not going to say anything rude. Oh, sure, why not? No, I'm not going to do it. They really want to be smart people, really, really badly. And unfortunately, they're just not. They're not stupid guys. They just don't want to pay their dues. They don't want to do. They do not want to learn anything the right way. Brian's ideas about how science is actually done are just completely foreign and astounding to me. He thinks all of science is a series of accidents, and it does happen from time to time that things are discovered simply by accident. Goodyear piddled around forever trying to figure out how to make rubber harder until he accidentally dropped some of it in a hot skillet and realized that he could vulcanize that stuff just by heating it up without having to add all chemicals and stuff he'd been trying to do. So yeah, things get discovered by accident. But that's not always the way it needs to be. You can have an idea and go out and start working to figure out if it's correct or not. Brian thinks you just throw crap together and see what happens. And Dallas Dave, my goodness. I know he doesn't believe all that stuff he says. Jay McClaw, yeah, absolutely. Hey, Sean Hawkins. Elon says he discovered my channel by accident, looking for red marble with a blue laser. Alrighty. Mr. Cuddly, if your Cavendish rig shows a 15-minute swing period, then you have in your hands a seismometer that resonates at 1 millihertz. I shall offer suggestions. Yes, we are approaching the much sought after zero frequency oscillator is what we're doing. I invented one of those one time. I watched that thing for months. It never oscillated a single time. Then I bumped the table and screwed it all up. Whoops, time to move the little circle. Make sure I'm moving just the little red circle. And that comes to about 222 and a half. Why am I getting all these halves? Oh, shut up. It's one of those half millimeter days. Everything's a half millimeter. I fixed it. 223. Yeah, like George Carlin said, just think about how stupid the average person is, and then think half of them are even stupider than that. AGN, good morning. Let's see if we can make you blue. No, I don't want to confuse anybody. Absolutely not. Unless I can have some fun doing it. And in that case, I'm in. Hello, Fred. I do think a lot of them are exactly as you're saying, jealous of people who didn't spend the youthful part of their life just playing around and actually went out and learned some stuff. And I don't know why they think it's too late now. Doesn't matter how old you are, you can still learn this stuff. The wonderful thing I find about the internet and YouTube is the ability to go to places like MIT or Caltech. Now you can take an entire damn physics course, undergraduate course, if you want to. It's going to take a long time to watch all those lectures and understand all that stuff. But you can certainly do it if you want to. But these clowns would rather sit on the internet, in some chat, screaming the earth is flat, rather than actually go out and try to learn something. That's sad. To me, it's so much fun to get off into into stuff that I learned a long, long time ago but have forgotten about, and force myself to go back through it and relearn it. I feel like I've done something. That is correct, Carl. When a day goes by and you don't think you learned anything, you just wasted a day. I'm with you, Eric. I really enjoy Suskin's lectures. He's excellent. And Action Labs, Fred, very true. They are. Uh, those guys do a lot of really nice stuff. Hello, Charlie. Good morning. And McCudley makes a point. He says, our your modern technology should be used to improve Cavendish's method that was dominated by reliance on pendulums for timing. It's 200 years since that was a standard, and there are other ways of measuring the gravitational constant, McCudley. And I'll be damned if I can tell you what a single one of them are, but I know that torsion balances are not the only way it's been done. Whoop. Shut that silly thing off. Make sure I'm moving only the white circle. Oh, good, 160. That should be 1108, and it is. So that's 1, 2. That's 3 total periods of oscillation. I want to get 6 at least. Before we move the weights to the other position. Charlie says it's strange. I've not seen any flat earthers complaining about the metric system. They don't use any system, so. And when need be, they just mix the systems up. They don't really care. It's just numbers. They don't mean anything. Haven't seen a single glitch in the stream this morning. It's got to be Discord that's doing it. I don't know how much RAM's in this machine. I ought to check it. Maybe it just needs some more RAM in it. I know it would help a lot if it had a graphics card, but I'll be damned if I'm going to spend the money on a graphics card for this old clunker. Eric says he thinks the flat earthers have given up on making their own Cavendish observations. Yeah, I think after Sean, I don't have Discord running right now, and I don't have it running for a reason. I think it's what was causing my stream to be unstable yesterday, so I'll check it later. I agree, Fred. I would really hate to see what a Flurf checking account looks like. Hello, 9 o'clock hero. Good to see you. Yeah, Elon, that's the air conditioner, and I can't manage to get that little uh, diffuser thing up there at the top to stop rattling. Sorry about the racket, but we're just going to have to deal with it because it gets too hot in here without the air conditioning on. Trying to hold the temperature relatively stable. We've gone from 21.7 to 22.1. So Colon, I was recording. I have not recorded anything since I got this new, this replacement computer. I've not been using, I've not been recording anything on the SSD. For the reason you suggest, I don't want to fill the thing up. I think this thing's only got 500 gig SSD in it. And I had 600 gigabytes on that hard drive on the other machine, and I had cleaned a lot of stuff out of it. You can really pile a whole bunch of data on a drive when you start recording video. Yeah, my cuddly, I've got a time lapse running right now that's taking I don't take shots every second or anything like that. I take a still shot every 20 seconds, which is proven to be sufficient, I think. But then I take it and run it through the tracker software, and let that thing extract the data. I like having the time lapse data. It's more trouble to set that camera up every time you want to run one of these tests. But that's the best and most accurate representation of the laser position that I've got. And I can run more frames per second if I want to. But there's no real need. So thanks for dropping by, everybody. I appreciate it. What was that last reading? Let's see. About 217 and a half, something like that. Looks like a nice stable oscillation. I think old Henry would be quite impressed with the technology we have today, Mr. Cudley. I think he would be. I can assure you, after taking one set of this data, the manual way that Cavendish took it, if he would have had an alternative, he would have used it, believe me. You can damn near go blind sitting there staring at that vernier, trying to figure out when you're at the extreme point of the oscillation. And he was trying to record 3 points. He would try to catch the extreme and then a point as close to the center of the oscillation period as he could, and then the next extreme point. Mr. Cudley says we ought to play the log back as an audio file and hear the earth go twang. I don't know anything much about recording barometers. Cuddly, I don't. Other than having seen a picture of one or two, I think. Yeah, Colon. I hope the same thing. Knowing her, she probably does, though. Oops. Getting close to an. What the hell just happened? Where did that come from? You get one of these once in a while that does something like this. This one actually to a greater extreme than the previous one did. The previous one I recorded was 160 and this one went down to 156 and a half. I don't know why. I'm thinking the tungsten might be reacting with that prefamulated amulite. Yeah, Sean, that is Billy Strings, for sure. He is a terrific entertainer. That guy's got the cleanest guitar style around, in my opinion. Dust in the Bay, yeah, that's a good song. I like that one. Let me see what we got going on over here. How many pictures we've taken so far. We're down to 374. You leaving, Cuddly? If you are, we'll catch you later, buddy. Let's see, we started at 6:30. So we've taken 256 frames. But that's, we're at 4 oscillations total. 1, 2, 3, oh, can't count that. 1, 2, 3, 4, yeah. I'd like to get 6. Yeah, I'll see you later, 9 o'clock, hero. Glad you dropped by. Thanks. So this time we're at about 215 and a half, it looks like. Watching paint dry is exciting sometimes, compared to watching this crazy thing. Yeah, so Sean Hawkins is going to go live here in 4.5 hours. Configuring his drone, which I know nothing about, Sean, but I'll watch probably. Yeah, snacks, that's good, Carl. I don't have any snacks. I need to get snacks. It'll be time for lunch here shortly. Or at least another cup of coffee. I think I got to start working on some documentation for this thing. Putting a bit of a package together. So that the future owners, whoever that may be, will have some idea of what the hell all this stuff is. I really want to just do a little paper on it and compare the experiences I've had with what Cavendish reported, because it's very similar. I think maybe people might find it a little bit interesting. But there's plenty of time for that. A proper paper would be a lot better way to present the results. And then people would have the data sitting there that they could look at. So far, all I've done is, well, just those 2 YouTube videos. There's a lot of backup stuff to go with it. Oh, Carl, you don't think Sleeping Warrior would be able to help me? I mean, a man with his vast scientific knowledge and experience, and his proven ability to write papers. Think about it. That's a good idea, Cuddly. Yeah, they'd figure it out pretty quick, though. I don't know. Are the sound levels low? Well, I'm speaking rather low. Maybe I ought to turn the volume up a little bit. Let's see. Yeah, that might be a little bit better. And I don't have the mic particularly close to me. Let's see, 30 seconds away. Yeah, you get one of those funny extreme points like that last one. This time we're at 161 and a half. Sometimes it doesn't do just perfect. Imagine that, like a real piece of equipment. How unique. Well, that was five complete oscillations. We're going to go one more and then move the weights. Let's see how many frames we got showing here. That should work. That should work nicely. Still got 336 frames at 20 seconds apiece. That would be well, 112 minutes. That sounds about right. Let's see what the average of these last three would have been, just for fun. We had a 156 and a half and a 161 and a half. Average those, and then average that with 215 and a half. $187.25. Okay. Yeah, the stream has not bobbled one time. So it's something to do with Discord. And whether that's the Wi-Fi or I can't imagine there's too much information for the computer. It's not that old and it's not that decrepit for sure. I'm thinking it must be the Wi-Fi causing the problem. Hello, Joe Kovacs. Did I ever hear anything else about Riley's Tony tub? Nope, I did not. It just vanished. It went into oblivion. I think what happened is I think Riley realized that he had trapped himself. I think Anthony came to the shocking realization that one of two things was going to occur. Either he was going to continue and prove on his own that mass attracts mass, or he was going to try and claim that it didn't work, in which case I was going to simply turn around, make something similar to that mess of his, and make a complete idiot out of him. So I believe what Anthony did was take the coward way out, as usual. Oh, Mrs. Blue needs something. I'll be back in a second. Okay, I'm back. Let's see if I can start up Discord. And let's see if that's if that messes the stream up. So Discord is running now. And the stream still looks okay, but that doesn't necessarily mean anything. It would look okay at times. Yesterday, too. So let's see where this point's going to be. $2.24. No. $2.14. $2.14 and a half. Okay, so in 8 minutes, what I want to do is let it go. Just past the next extreme. So when it starts back up scale, I'll move the weights. Hello, Professor Phil. How you doing today? Welcome. Post a link. Yeah, I can post a link, I think. Let me go find a link. I think that one would work. Yeah, so far the stream's holding up pretty well. Haven't seen anything odd about it. I don't know what that's all about. Anyway, "26 people watching. Hey, you guys are more bored than I am." Yes, Carl, it is a sine wave. A really nice sine wave. Hey, 2 minutes and 22 seconds till the fun starts. Yeah, Phil, there's all kinds of stuff on this contraption. Full sets of drawings, anything you want, and you're welcome to all of it. Joe Kovacs wants to know if Arwingian physics would explain this. I somehow don't think so. But yeah, I'd love to make a Foucault pendulum too. The problem that you got, obviously, is where the hell do you find sufficient head height to be able to get a decent length on the thing. I'm not sure that it wouldn't work in here, at an 8 foot, 2.5 meter ceiling height. Maybe it would. Let me try getting another link, Eric. Hang on. Generate a new link. Let's try this. Give that one a try. Whoops. 11 seconds. And counting. I gotta go move my little white circle. First I gotta shut this thing off. This kind of reminds me of flying an airplane on instruments. You got about 18 things you got to do all at once. So I'll let this go until we see the obvious movement of the balance upscale. And if you're playing along at home, that will be movement to the left on that vernier that you see in the bottom right of the video. It's moving. Pardon me while I go move the weights. Okay, stuff's gonna get exciting now. Let me go back over here. Yeah, Clive, got a sniper in here. Well, this is strange. Discord's not having any, everything's running fine. Yesterday it was just constantly going from excellent condition to poor condition for no good reason. Hello, Real Cygnus. How you doing today? Welcome. Yeah, Carl. Windows downloads an update about every 20 minutes, I think. God, I hate that program. The machine's telling me right now that it's got an update waiting and it wants me to restart. And I haven't wanted to just because it's a pain in the neck to restart OBS. With 3 cameras connected to it, I got to disconnect 2 of them, restart it, and then get those 2 cameras working again. It's a pain. Oh, you're in Discord. Good, Eric. Let's see. No, you're not. I don't see you. Well, you may not have joined. Okay, I see you. Yeah, you're there. Yeah, you're just not connected to the voice channel. Perfect. So let's see how we're doing here. Wow. I'm thinking there's something to this mass attracts mass shit. So there we go again. So let's see where that took us to. That's about 270 and a half. And the oscillation starts again. Perfect. Just what we wanted. Hello, fire starter man. Is there a simple way to explain to flirts exactly how mass attracts mass? By which mechanism, so they can easily understand it? I've yet to find a way to explain it to those guys, and it doesn't matter how you try to explain it. They don't want to understand it, so they're not going to. Or at least that's my opinion. Maybe some of the other folks in the chat can chime in, but I don't. I've pretty much given up trying to explain it to them. I don't think it. I mean, to me, it's not important that you have to understand exactly why. Nobody knows exactly why mass does that. But we know what it causes. And as far as I'm concerned, it's more than enough if you're just dealing with Newtonian physics, and that's all we're dealing with. It's more than enough to know that it acts like a force, close enough. It's not a contact force, it's a force that's similar in a lot of ways to things like centrifugal force. There's nothing actually pushing you when you feel like you're being thrown up against the side of the car during a sharp turn, but nothing's really pushing on you, but you feel that and it feels like a force. Gravity's the same way. Could QE learn from Susskind's lectures? QE's smart enough to learn it if he wanted to, I suppose, but and he may actually know. I don't know. Yeah, Eric, I think you're right. QE would try to correct me. Yeah, Mr. Cudley makes the perfect point. Trying to explain the bending of space-time is not a good place to start. And Newton just basically said, yeah, it does that. That's what happens. Mass attracts mass. Don't tell me. I don't want anybody to think that I'm saying, That's just magic. Some inherent property of mass that I don't understand and I can't explain. That's essentially what Newton said. But that doesn't change how it behaves. That's exactly right, Mark. Well, that was some deflection, wasn't it? And like usual, we're not going to come all the way back to the starting point because it's damped. The oscillation is a little bit damped. But it'll get close. Said it wasn't going to go all the way back. It may go. Just the inertia of this thing. Get back close. And that's 8 minutes. So at 12:13. Call it 167. And now the oscillation will start to decay fairly rapidly. By fairly rapidly, I mean over the next hour and a half. Let's see, Chris, my balls are in the west position right now. Let's see what I've been missing in the chat over here. Yeah, Eric QE is hung up about what mass is. Absolutely. He says that over and over again. What is mass? He can't understand that the definition of mass and the definition of inertia are very close to the same. A textbook definition of mass is an object's resistance to an acceleration when a force is applied. And QE takes that and says, but wait a minute, that's the definition of inertia. Yeah, they're very similar to each other. So, what's your point? But QE does that with everything. Hell, I like simple explanations. What is mass? It's the amount of stuff something contains. You can define stuff any way you want. That's right. Mass is the measure of inertia. That's exactly right. That's the reason why the definitions look so similar to each other to nitwits like QE. They just go out of their way to make mistakes. Quantum Eraser is simply a religious fanatic. You can't say anything else about the guy. He's the worst sort. I don't have anything at all against religion. At all. I've got my own thoughts, which I keep to myself. But QE and people like him are basing most of what they say on what they think some damn history book tells them. Clive says it another way. Mass is a measure of the reluctance of a body to change its state of motion. Yes, absolutely. They don't like simple explanations like that, though. It removes all of the guesswork and any need to believe in some fuzzy thing or the other. It's just very simple and straightforward. Good day, Dora. How are you? Good to see you. Yeah, Barry, I think you got it about right. Their entire gas pressure argument, for instance, is just inherently and fundamentally flawed. The premise of it being a container is required for gas pressure, which is not true. It's absolutely not true. It is not the container that causes gas pressure. And it is not a prerequisite. But they make that firm assertion, and then they never they won't even talk about it beyond just saying, "This is the way it is. It's a necessary antecedent." Well, it's not. It absolutely is not. The very low pressure of interstellar space that we take to be 10 to the minus 17th torr is still a pressure. Where the hell is the container for that? Oh, it must be the walls of the universe, I guess, huh? And they're still mad at me for the gas pressure in the pipe. And the more they complain about it, the less willing I become to even to do anything other than just say it again and do it again. It's idiotic. If we didn't have the acceleration of gravity keeping that damn butane in that pipe, you certainly wouldn't have a different pressure in the pipe than you have out here in the surrounding room, or at least not for long. They never understood that. They still don't understand that. You've noticed that, have you, Eric? I've noticed it too. They never talk about the results or the observations that we make here time and time and time again with Cavendish. They don't want anything to do with that discussion. They've tried every possible way they could to minimize this, to discredit this, and I don't really care what they do. Idiots. Not doing it for them anyway. Hey, 20 people watching. Thanks for showing up, everybody. Keeping me company. I've done a lot of these things. Just sitting out here by myself. It's a lot more fun when I got the chat to read and people to talk to. Yeah, Eric, I agree too. I was hoping that the Tony Tub would show, and it may have, and that may be why you haven't heard another damn peep out of those guys. It may have worked. How's my lab assistant? Judy asked. Oh, well, his name is Joker, and Joker is in fine spirits today. Eric says, well, you have to return the laser, I think. Yeah. What? Well, I have to return the what? Eventually. If you're talking about the laser, BM Furball bequeathed that laser to me, to this experiment, so it's going to go wherever this goes. Yeah, if you knew Joker, Eric, you know that it is a very good name for that dog. Yeah, the laser is the one that BM used when he did his Cavendish. Somebody donated it to him, so he donated it to me, and I'm going to donate it to the next owner. Yeah, real Cygnus. Well, we had those guys dead to rights because I wrote not only a comment in Ranty's live stream that day, I sent Ranty an email too and outlined the problems that Dr. John D. or whoever that guy is was making by not fixing that thing at the top, by not building a torsion balance. So they didn't have any damn excuse they could use. We told them it wasn't going to work to begin with. Fatal flaw. And eventually they did fix it. Or apparently they did. But they were never willing to say what size or type of element they were using for the torsion element. I suspect it was probably fishing line, nylon line or something, monofilament fishing line or something like that. Which I suppose you could use. I don't know any reason why you couldn't. It's got a really, really low modulus of rigidity. But that's right, Mark. There is no restoring force coming from that crazy pivot that those guys put on there. Without that, you don't have a torsion balance. you've got a weather vane. So Tony and Dr. John built a weather vane. And if any little thing disturbed it and started it moving, there was nothing to try to, there was very little resistance there at that point they had to make it want to stop doing that, and certainly nothing that would make it want to return. So if you can't generate this oscillation, I don't know how the hell you ever figure out what kind of torsion constants you've got. What did I do? Did I walk through the beam? Oh no. Eric says, how would silk threads work? I don't know. Don't know what the physical characteristics of it. You could, I suppose, use almost anything that will support the weight of the balance. But then the question is, does it have sufficient, can you make it sufficiently small that you can get the sensitivity you're looking for? That's what I ran into with the copper. That's what I ran into with the pure copper. And clearly that Cavendish wasn't using 99.9% pure copper like we get today, which is electrically purified. His copper was some alloy or the other. And when I tried using just pure copper to get the copper, to get enough tensile strength, yield strength in the copper, it ended up being too large in diameter to be useful as the torsion balance. You'd have really low oscillation periods. You're just too stiff. So you got to fiddle around, and it's a juggling act to get all of that stuff to fall in the right range. Carbon nanotubes. Hell yeah. Tungsten seems to be the preferred material. And it has worked really well. It doesn't drift as much, nearly as much as mild steel did. So I've been pretty happy with it from that standpoint. Yeah, Mark, I did try work hardening it. There's a couple of ways you can do that. One way to work harden it is to stretch it like you're talking about. Another way to work harden it is to twist it, spin it. So I took it and hung one of these lead weights on it. put it in the vise and let it hang, and would just spin the thing and let it spin uh, on its own up to a point, and it would stop and then back, uncoil itself. That's a way of hardening it, but I could never get the pure copper to be strong enough to be usable. Now the beryllium copper worked fine, except that it drifted quite a bit, and I don't know how long it was going to take that stuff to ever stabilize. So I played with it for a while and actually ran, I think, four tests with it, but it was just too big a pain in the neck, and that's when I switched to this tungsten. And the tungsten drifted at first for a little bit, but after a couple of weeks it settled right down, and now it's very, very stable. But I was reading through some of the documentation that was in the report that came out from the National Bureau of Standards in their experiment in 1942, I think. And they talked about they talked about having to, wait a minute, I gotta stop talking and go fix this thing. Okay. Gotta move the little red circle. So 256. Yeah, 1237. I skipped one. What was that other one down there? 173. That would have been at 1229. All right, I think we're back in business. Now, what was I talking about? I forgot. Oh, yeah. I think they claimed that, it took 3 months or something for their tungsten wire to finally stop drifting. What was that acoustic guitar tune? That is, that's an old Bob Dylan song, Don't Think Twice. Played by a guy named Billy Strings. Google Billy Strings on YouTube and search for Don't Think Twice. I like that song. That's just the very last little outro bit that he has in his video. Oh my goodness, yes, I just read Barry talking about tensile strength. Yeah, Billy's totally awesome. I really enjoy listening to that guy. You guys are funny. Yes, Mark. It goes back and forth and back. Yeah. We got it. Well, this is crazy. So today I've had no issues at all with this live stream. But I went live on YouTube before I started Discord. I wonder if that has anything to do with it. I don't know why it would, but crazier things have happened. Tommy Emmanuel, absolutely real. You betcha. He is a legend. Yeah, I'm sure you've checked it out before. Check out some of that stuff from the what do they call it, the Chet Atkins Festival or something like that. They have it over in Nashville every year or two. Some really excellent guitar playing goes on over there. Listening to those guys play Scott Joplin music on a guitar is just absolutely blows me away. Who's the British guy? Real? I'm trying to think. I can't call his name right now. Rather rotund fellow. Is it David somebody? Richard, yeah, sorry. Richard Smith, exactly. He is great to listen to. I really enjoy him. Yes, heads. I like it. Okay, we got another measurement to make. My goodness, the oscillation seems to be damped. I don't know what to make of that. Well, call that 177. Oops. Start the timer. Okay. I'll do a little math real quick. Yeah. Yeah, Chris. Yeah, if you hang around watching Cavendish and sitting in chats, you will have twice as many dishes to wash the next day. Yeah, just looking at these initial numbers, it looks like we're coming up a little bit low on the deflection compared to what we normally see, but I won't really know until I get the time-lapse data. It's about 29.25 millimeters. Usually we're getting around 32, so it is what it is, though. Doesn't have to be anything, it just has to be what it is, and we just have to write it down. Chris says, I wonder how long a Flurf's attention span would be when trying to do this sort of experiment. You would need a stopwatch. Let's see how many frames we've got left to shoot over here. About 112 frames. Oops. So that's about 37 minutes. When we get through that and call it a day, I'll get the data and we'll see how this one worked out. So Suskin's not going to do any more courses. Wow, hate to hear that. I really like listening to him. I always enjoyed the back and forth banter that went on between Suskin and Hawkins. I got the feeling those two guys really didn't like each other. Walter Lewin's one of my favorites. I agree with you, Carl. I hope I still have one too, because I don't have very far to go to get to 80. Well, Eric, I can tell you that every age off in the future comes a lot faster than you think it will. I did learn one thing, though. Middle age is about 10 years older than whatever age you happen to be at the moment. Oops. Time for a measurement. Darn right, Judy. I'd like to be 60 again. Hell, I'd like to be 70 again. I didn't like 71. I don't like 71. That's too big a number. But I suppose there's not a whole hell of a lot we can do about it. Well, we could lie about it. That's one possibility. I don't think so, Eric. I think he wants it shot at a much higher frame rate, so. I did one for him, but I haven't heard back from him. He's really busy right now. Instead of shooting it at a 20-second per frame, I think we need to drop it to like 5 seconds or something like that. I'll have to do a special, I'll just have to do a special video for that, or a special time lapse. I can't shoot a time lapse like that that's helpful for measuring G this way. Can't fit enough frames in it. I don't know, maybe I could, but it's going to become huge. Instead of shooting 630 frames today, I'd be shooting 2,500 frames. What was AB's paper about, Clive? Do you know? Yeah, correct, Eric. But you don't need a bunch of oscillations for the acceleration method, do you? Yeah, that's what I was thinking, Eric. There's no need to put it through a bunch of oscillations. I could even shoot it at. I could even shoot it at 1 frame per second if I wanted to. But at 1 frame per second, good Lord. Let's see, one complete oscillation would be 960 frames. One period, one total period. And that's a lot of stuff to pass through tracker. Two seconds wouldn't be too bad. Yeah, I'm thinking in the 2 to 5 second range would give us sufficient data for an accurate measurement of the acceleration. I'm going to go start another cup of coffee brewing. I'll be back in a sec. Coffee should be done. I'll go get a cup. Okay, now we got an error from YouTube finally. Saying no data. I just shut down my Discord. Yeah, I don't know what happened. First time all day I've seen it, but it's currently saying the stream status is poor. Oh well. You got to run, Carl? Yeah. Thanks for being here, man. You are welcome, most welcome, anytime. Hello, John Bernards. Gonna make you a moderator too. Everybody gets to be blue on my channel. Yes, John, it doesn't happen very quickly, does it? That timer gets your attention. Yeah, 6/3 means June 3rd. That is correct. We do all this stuff. The way we write our dates is kind of crazy. Here, I can fix that. I'll do it just for you guys. Do it a more conventional way. So how does that look now, Eric? That look more like a date for you? What was up with the wire taking a set, Evan? Any material will do that. If we just twist it and let it force it to to sit there with torque on it like that over a period of time, it wants to stay in that spot. I'm sure that's there's some lavish explanation for what causes it, which I don't recall anymore. We just say it's taking a set. Which means if you leave it alone, it'll drift back to a natural position if it's not being subjected to a torque, to a stress. No, Mark, it doesn't have to be past the elastic limit. We're not getting anywhere close to the elastic limit of this stuff. I remember you moved the weights and nothing happened. Maybe back when we were having issues with electrostatics and stuff. Well, the stream's back showing excellent connection again. Damn it. But this will be the last oscillation. We won't make it to another point. Oh, wait a minute, we will. We'll get this point in. And we can stop timing because the camera is about to run out. In fact, it may have run out. It did. Maybe we got that last point. And maybe not. So we'll let this thing generate a time lapse. Then I can quit and go have lunch. And you guys will have to find some other way to be bored for the afternoon. Yeah, we got a video. Excellent. So let's see, we'll shut off that, take out the AC adapter. Stick the battery back in it. Ready to download this valuable data to the computer inside. Got the weights moved back into the neutral position now. So it can sit like that until tomorrow. So again, I've got something to do at 10 o'clock in the morning. I'll probably set up a live stream for 11:30 or 12 o'clock Eastern US time. And we'll just do it again. Hey, thanks everybody. I appreciate everybody showing up. Hope you had some fun. At least you can have fun talking to each other in the chat, huh? And I think with that, I'll be out of here.